Today was, amazing. 150 volunteers, over 400 trees. The biggest thing that this kind of brought to my attention is what we can accomplish as a group.
SBC has been helping the Sounders calculate their footprint for the last 2 years.
We've worked with about 165 organizations across the globe. You know, the Sounders set the bar for not only MLS, but for all pro sports teams in North America to go towards carbon neutrality.
Biggest source of Seattle Sounders emissions is team travel.
We have to travel by airplane. We have to drive to practice. We got a massive stadium we have to power. These are all things that we can't avoid, right? But we can do our best to make an impact. And this is all part of that.
So as you can see behind me, we have volunteers out today who are planting the trees, helping to clear the area. For the things that you can't avoid, you can calculate the exact number of trees that will offset that carbon.
That's who the Sounders are. That's who they are as a club on the field. That's who they are in the league.
And it's power in numbers. And when people are here for a common goal, you see the results immediately.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Yeah, you as well. I like that jersey, man.
It's a classic.
Classic, that's right.
I am a lifelong soccer player. I'm a lifelong soccer fan, and we started going to Sounders games, USL, and just embraced them since then. The Sounders have created a remarkable community of supporters. Just the 40,000 plus that are there. We are in a position to use that voice as a Sounders community.
The Earth Day obviously started out as a grassroots movement, right? Was it you and a handful of other people, or was it kind of a community of folks?
It began with a United States senator who thought that it would be good to raise the profile of environmental issues with college teach-ins. We moved the focus away from college campuses out into communities. We renamed the event Earth Day. In the end, I think it's safe to say that we had things going on in every city, every town, and almost every village in the United States. While each of us only makes a small change, when you multiply that small change, the aggregate impact is just enormous. I think it's impossible to exaggerate the importance of having groups like the Sounders make formidable commitments in this area.
Ultimately, sustainability and conservation are human issues, and the solutions are going to derive from us.
We have over 300 event days and 2.4 million guests that come through the stadium in a year. And in that time, we can produce about 450 tons of compost. And they take that compost out to their farm, which is Sound Sustainable Farms. And last year we got 6,000 pounds of potatoes. Potato chips you ate or other potato salad at the stadium was made out of potatoes that were grown in compost from the stadium. We're looking for ways to take our stadiums and make them work for the earth and for our environment.
Sounders have really taken a leadership role globally in terms of advancing sustainability in sport. And I think our voice as supporters added to that can make even more impact. There's not a gesture that we make individually or collectively that doesn't matter.
They don't go to see your games because they care about whether or not you recycle. But when they're there, they care about you, and you are role models, and that has an impact. In the initial decade after that first Earth Day, the level of progress that was made was kind of spectacular, starting now to pick up the same kind of momentum that we were experiencing going into that first Earth Day.
In a quote you said, "There is no survival in pessimism."
Yes. If you're going to talk about creating a context within which people are mobilized to demand change, if they don't think that there's any hope that there can be change, it's going to be really hard to mobilize them. So of course you have to have optimism. There's no survival value in being pessimistic.
We can look at what everything that CenturyLink Field or the Sounders are doing for our earth, but it takes each one of us to make a small difference each day.
I think, the Sounders are at the forefront, and I think that we should all be proud of that as a club, and we'll continue to push the envelope and get, everyone that we can involved. A mass amount of people, when called upon, want to make a difference. That's the Seattle culture, and that's the Seattle community, and we lead by example.